A new tell-all book has just been released that gives readers an in-depth behind-the-scenes look at the royal family. With a central focus around Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, authors Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durand unpack the secrets hidden in the royal couple's relationship. The book is called Finding Freedom: Harry and Meghan and the Making of a Modern Royal Family, if you want to check it out. The origin of this book has become a bit of a hot topic of debate as well. You see, the authors claim that they obtained all of their information by conducting over 100 interviews with those who know Harry and Meghan best, and even some Buckingham Palace aides. That being said, Palace insiders believe that the book was sanctioned by Harry and Meghan, which is being billed as the truth behind their departure from the royal family. Setting aside as to whether or not that they had any say in the book, it certainly brought a lot of things to light about their life as members of the royal family. Harry and Meghan actually met on a blind date that took place at Soho House's Dean Street townhouse in London. A source in the palace told the authors that they chatted over drinks for nearly 3 hours before going their separate ways. Almost immediately though, they were obsessed with one another, and Harry apparently appeared to be in a trance of some sort after his date. Meghan had checked off every box for Harry, and he knew that they would be together even after that one date. Due to how high profile Prince Harry's life is though, he and Meg had to do a lot of very secretive dates to avoid any negative publicity. Like, I read that they got walked in through a back door into a restaurant and they had to shut the whole place down. Craziness. Once they became a public couple though, it would become expressly clear as to why they hid the relationship for so long. You see, in the early days of their romance, Prince Harry had gifted Meghan with a 14-karat gold chain bearing the initials of H&M. Apparently, this necklace alone sparked a huge controversy behind the castle walls. Like Game of Thrones behind the castle walls. The authors in the book detailed what happened and said she was advised that wearing such a necklace only served to encourage the photographers to keep pursuing such images and new headlines. When Meghan finally met Harry's brother William, she was worried that he would grill her, but instead William reportedly said that he was looking forward to meeting the woman who had put that silly grin on his brother's face, which is kinda cute. Sadly, Meghan experienced a lot of hatred for the color of her skin, to the point where Harry had to issue a statement that was released by his communications secretary. In part of the statement they said, Prince Harry is worried about Miss Markle's safety and is deeply disappointed that he has not been able to protect her. It is not right that a few months into a relationship with him that Miss Markle should be subjected to such a storm. He knows commentators will say that this is the price that she has to pay and that this is all part of the game. He strongly disagrees. This is not a game, it is her life and his. Harry went on to condemn the racist and sexist abuse that his girlfriend was going through the moment that the relationship went public. His relationship with his brother is a bit tumultuous as well though. According to the book sources, William had told Harry to not feel like he needed to rush this relationship, and apparently that really angered Harry, which some Palace insiders believe was an overreaction, and maybe, but who knows, we weren't there. However, it still sums up them as people, with William being the calm and rational one, and Harry being the one who can't help but take things far too personally. Perhaps the most frustrating truth about this couple is the amount of criticism and flack that they get on a daily basis from not just the royal family, but even the staff who work there. For example, the Queen's longtime dresser Angela Kelly was constantly at odds with Harry leading up to the wedding. He was trying to obtain access to Meghan's chosen tiara for a hair trial in advance for the big day, but Angela was constantly dragging her feet. She kept telling him that the Queen was rejecting her choice of tiara, but in reality there was never a disagreement between Meghan and the Queen. Rather, the conflict was just between Harry and Angela. More concerns about the stability of the royal family started to bubble up simply by trying to organize a family photo. The book alleges that Prince William and Prince Harry were not excited to get together for this photo either. A source close to the family said the boys can be hot and cold with their father, calling the planning for the photo an absolute nightmare, adding that neither William nor Harry made much of an effort to make themselves available. Now, if you've been following this couple, then you'll know that both of them have chosen to step away from their royal duties. Again, according to the book, Buckingham Palace had little warning when it came to the details of them announcing that they were stepping down from their royal duties in January. What absolutely flustered the Buckingham Palace aides was that a website had laid out the intricacies of their departure. However, despite having people conspire against them and trying to ruin their relationship from the get-go, the couple are doing just fine now. They've been living in a secluded compound in Los Angeles with their 1-year-old son Archie, while still doing volunteer work in the area delivering meals with Project Angel Food.
And at number 10, Piers Morgan. Infamous journalist Piers Morgan might be one of the most outspoken people against Meghan Markle. And there's actually a dating story behind that. It makes the whole thing even more juicy. So apparently Piers asked Meghan out on a date before she was with Harry, of course. And rumor has it that they went out on that date, but Meghan ghosted Piers after. And this could be the real reason that Piers can seem very angry towards Meghan when talking about her. Most recently, after Meghan's explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey, Piers did not hold back, trashing her on Good Morning Britain. And before him and the other hosts could even discuss the topic, he went on raging about how the interview's tarnishing the reputation of Britain around the world and hurting everything the Queen has worked so hard for. He also made a point to say that he does not believe a word that she says, so I mean, clearly he's not a fan. And at number 9, Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams trashes pretty much everyone on her show, so I'm not sure Meghan should take it personally, but for some reason, Wendy Williams really hates Meghan Markle and is not afraid to tell the world. When the couple first got together, Wendy said, quote, "There's way too much drama with her and that will not work out." Then when the two did get married and Meghan became a royal, Wendy said on her show that Meghan, quote, "weaseled her way into that kingdom," also calling her the, quote, "Duchess of Malibu." Then when Wendy was talking about the documentary Harry and Meghan: An African Journey, she spoke about how Meghan was warned that she should stay away from Harry, as the tabloids would ruin her whole life. But apparently Meghan didn't believe this. But Wendy didn't buy that and said, quote, "Yes, you did. You knew exactly what you were doing. Please don't try to garner sympathy from us." I guess insinuating that Meghan knew exactly the kind of press craziness that she was getting into. And at number 8, Katie Hopkins. Katie Hopkins is a well-known British writer who has made it very clear that she hates Meghan Markle. She once coined Meghan as the, quote, "American Kate Middleton," and, quote, "a budget princess die with an Oscar-winning innocent face." Hopkins even went on 60 Minutes to talk about Markle, who described her as a, quote, "nobody who, quote, wears bad clothes," plus agrees with some other haters who are calling Meghan a hypocrite. She even once clapped back at a tourist defending Meghan. When the tourist told her, quote, "there's nothing wrong with Meghan," Hopkins replied, quote, "but then there's nothing right with her either." And at number 7, Chrissy Swan. Chrissy Swan is an Australian TV personality that has been outspoken critiquing Meghan Markle. Chrissy first made comments about Meghan on Facebook, following news of the royal engagement between Prince Harry and Meghan. She wrote, quote, "For some reason, I still haven't warmed up to her," adding that she felt Meghan was still acting while she was out with Harry, saying that the humility that she showed was all just an act. While a few people agreed with Swan's opinion, others were mad, calling her a bully and saying that they were, quote, "very disappointed by her comments." And at number 6, Trevor Engelson. So if you don't already know who Trevor Engelson is, he's actually Meghan Markle's first husband. And for the most part, he's actually been pretty respectful to Meghan's privacy and hasn't commented publicly about her. But that doesn't mean that comments he made in private about her haven't been leaked to the public. Royal biographer Andrew Morton is the one that spilled the beans on Engelson's feelings towards Meghan. In his book called Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, the author portrays Trevor's alleged dislike for his ex-wife. In the book, the author reveals that Engelson initially loved being married to Meghan, but later felt like nothing to her, which was confirmed to him when Meghan allegedly mailed her wedding ring back to Trevor out of the blue after 2 years of marriage.
Number 5, Meghan's father. Easily the most interesting part of the interview came about when Meghan brought up her father. The Duchess spoke candidly about her estranged relationship with Thomas Markle and his tendency to leak information about her to the press. She explained that toxic tabloid culture has torn two families apart. Quote, "Harry said to me, I lost my dad in this process. It doesn't have to be the same for them as it was for me, but that's his decision." While she didn't stay on the subject for very long, readers have grabbed onto her words and taken it as a confirmation of a major rift between Prince Harry and his father, Prince Charles. But it was interesting that Meghan took the time to even mention her own father, considering that they were estranged even before her 2018 wedding to Prince Harry. Not to mention the ultimate betrayal that she would have felt when just 2 days before the wedding, Thomas gave an interview to TMZ claiming that he decided not to attend Meghan and Harry's wedding in order to avoid causing his daughter any further embarrassment. He also conspired with a photographer to pose for a series of staged paparazzi photos in order to make a quick buck. So he's not exactly father of the year. Number 4, Harry's revelation. In his most frank interview since quitting their roles, Prince Harry has told the magazine that many of his family members cannot work and live together in the way that he and his wife can. If you didn't pick up on the subtle diss, the article also refers to him as saying the word family with a vocal eye roll. When Davies pointed out that the two of them share a single desk in their home office, Harry said, "Most people that I know and many of my family, they aren't able to work and live together. It's actually really weird because it seems like a lot of pressure, but it just feels natural and normal." This is not the first time that the prince has hinted at a certain tension between himself and his family, as the 37-year-old has previously said that his father stopped taking his his calls after he and Meghan stepped back as senior working royals in 2020. So it's apparent that the rift between Harry and his family is worse than ever before, which is certainly sad because it seems like he's unable to separate the people from the firm and has ruined several relationships in the process of becoming independent from the royals. Number 3, $1 million mansion. Speaking of her home, the couple spent almost $15 million on their Montecito mansion, which is where they moved in secret in July of 2020, just a few months after officially stepping down as working royals. When gushing about their 9-bedroom California home, Meghan said, "We did everything we could to get this house, because you walk in and go joy and exhale and calm. It's healing. You feel free." Despite some pipes that needed fixing, the Duchess called the mansion their safe space, as it is apparently a coastal peace den that evokes images of a Napa vineyard. But here's where it starts to sound a little pretentious. Meghan explained that on the lawn there are 2 massive palm trees that represent her and her husband, always connected and supportive of each other. Not only that, but Davies goes on to describe 2 plush club chairs in their living room that are placed side by side to resemble thrones. So it's clear that they wanted their home to still look rather regal. But beyond its gobsmacking price, their decision to live next to US television royalty like Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres was certainly a good move, because Harry and Meghan have made it pretty obvious that they intend to return to the limelight, but this time they're aiming for Hollywood. Number 2, fighting the firm. Apart from the explosive allegations of racism made in Meghan Markle's interview with Oprah, the Duchess has now revealed that she also fought the firm to stay in the royal family. In fact, she revealed that she and Harry didn't initially want to leave the royal family, but instead wanted to continue their work as royals without using taxpayer funding. They wanted to be completely financially independent, and also asked to leave the UK and relocate to another Commonwealth country like Canada or South Africa. Quote, "That, for whatever reason, is not something that we were allowed to do, even though several other members of the family do that exact same thing." Why their request was denied, Meghan ultimately said that she did not know, but Davies wrote in her article that Meghan's knowing gaze seemed to suggest that she had a lot more to say on this, even though she chose not to. But interestingly enough, the Duchess revealed that she was not made to sign anything that would have prohibited her from speaking about her time as a royal, and insisted that she can talk about her whole experience, but is still in the healing process and has chosen not to. And coming in at number 1, forgiveness. The question on everyone's mind as they approached the conclusion of the article was undoubtedly, where does she stand with the royal family now? Meghan arguably left a small yet visible suggestion at the possibility of forgiveness. She said she believed forgiveness to be of vital importance, and something that's far easier to do than holding on to resentment. Quote, "I think forgiveness is really important. It takes a lot more energy not to forgive, but it takes a lot of effort to forgive. I've really made an active effort, especially knowing that I can say anything." But it might be too little too late, as Meghan has already given that explosive interview with Oprah in 2020, accusing the British monarchy of racism against their unborn child, and claiming members of the royal family had openly expressed concerns about how dark her son Archie's skin would be. She also exposed the complicated dynamics between her and the Duchess of Cambridge, and painted her in a pretty negative light. So with all things said and done, the new interview didn't do much in the way of damage control, so the possibility of family unity seemed to be a little bit out the window.
Coming at number 10 today, we have John Oliver. It seems like now that Meghan Markle and Harry have come out to speak their truth in their new documentary series, Meghan and Harry, a chillingly accurate clip of John Oliver warning Meghan Markle has started to resurface again. Back in 2018, Stephen Colbert would be left feeling slightly surprised when John Oliver wasn't excited about the then upcoming royal wedding between Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And 5 years later, the video is actually starting to make a lot of sense. Following the CBS special, an old late night show clip featuring John giving Meghan a persistent warning by saying, "I would not blame her if she pulled out at last minute. I don't think you need to just see the pilot episode of The Crown to get a basic sense that she might be marrying into a family that could cause some emotional complications. I mean, they're an emotionally stunted group of fundamentally flawed people doing a very silly pseudo job. That's what she's marrying into. So I hope she likes it. it's going to be weird for her. At the time of the interview, John would even note that he wouldn't even want to marry into the royal family himself. But the fact that he warned the public that she might back out, and the fact that she backed out of her royal duties is pretty shocking. That he warned us about this and then she married into the royal family anyways. Queen Elizabeth II. Even though Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made a trip to the UK in April of 2021 to visit Queen Elizabeth, it seems like the late Majesty was still less than pleased with her grandson's wife. An inside source would even come out to say Her Majesty believes Meghan and her publicity-obsessed antics pose a real threat to the monarchy. As she faced her final days, Elizabeth detests the self-centered newcomer for tearing Harry from his family to start a new life in America. The truth is, the Hollywood life has always been Meghan's dream, and Harry is her meal ticket. It was also noted that since the beginning, the Queen has always been very suspicious of Meghan, as Meghan has never been able to accept the royal rulebook. But still, because of her grandson, the Queen gave her many chances, and she hated how the Duchess of Sussex betrayed her. It was also stated that the Queen felt like Meghan used her title to gain an ambitious career in politics, which is a big no-no for the British family. After a while, even Queen Elizabeth lost patience with Meghan as she kept thumbing her nose at the royals, and she was letting everyone know what was happening behind the palace doors. Before the Queen passed away, she was really upset that Meghan would accuse the royals of being so cruel, uncaring, racist, and that she even had the guts to diss Prince William's wife, Kate. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in number 8, Kate Middleton. Kate Middleton will never forget how Meghan Markle treated her, but she also has no need to prolong their feud. For years, rumors have been swirling around about a row between the Princess of Wales and the Duchess of Sussex at the wedding to Prince Harry in May 2018, and ever since, the relationship between the two ladies has remained very tense, with Kate saying she found it all to be very mortifying when she heard Meghan was claiming that she actually made Meghan cry during a row over the bridesmaid dresses. Kate has never wanted any suggestion of a rift with Meghan to come out to the press, so when Meghan started circulating lies about their relationship, it was really hard for Kate to deal with, and she did everything she could to keep her feelings private. While inside sources have claimed that Kate and Meghan both have very different versions of the story, she feels like she's not in the position to respond, as she thought it was all sorted out, and now Meghan's airing out all this dirty laundry, and it's just mortifying for Kate. Number 7, Prince William. A friend of Kate Middleton has claimed that Prince William absolutely hates Meghan Markle. In an explosive interview with the Daily Beast, the unnamed friend of Princess of Wales shared just how much Prince William dislikes Meghan and blames her for his falling out with Prince Harry. The source would go on to say the family blames Meghan for it all. Really, they absolutely hate her. Basically, it's a huge disaster. The insider continued to say, growing up, the brothers were so close. They lost their mom and their dad was disengaged, so they had this incredible bond. Everyone knew it. And then Meghan came along, everyone warned him off, but he wouldn't listen, and she just ripped him away. The bond is gone, completely gone, and this film is the latest betrayal. Now William really hates them both, and the friend would state further that it was really toxic and destructive for them all at the end of the day because they were family, and that their whole family has been ruined by Meghan. Number 6, King Charles. With Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continuing to air out the royal family grievances, despite making a few attempts to repair their relationship with the royal family after the Queen's passing, the main issue at play seems to be the ongoing release of their various media projects. With Harry's book and the couple's docu-series being released, it has caused some major tensions between the royals. And Charles has been left feeling pretty betrayed when it comes to Meghan's actions. If you don't recall, during Meghan's and Harry's wedding in 2018, Meghan's father couldn't attend, so she asked Charles if he would walk her down the aisle, and he would agree to Meghan's request because he's always actually been quite fond of her in the beginning. But now he's actually just somehow bewildered. The Queen was used to handling this kind of thing, and it didn't really throw her as much as it's thrown Charles, and understandably, it's because his son and daughter-in-law have been saying some pretty hurtful things. That was actually just really uncalled for, especially when the royal family actually did so much for them, and they did so much to help Meghan transition into her royal duties, and she was just so ungrateful towards the whole process, and it seems like she just never wanted to learn how to follow the royal ways. Number 5, the X-rated romp in the office scenes in Suits. When Mike Ross and Rachel Zane finally had their first official date on Suits, it would end up with the two having a pretty sizzling moment in Pearson Hardman Legal Library, where Mike strips Rachel down to her underwear in the throes of passion. Meghan's and Patrick J. Adams' characters stripped off as they got hot and sweaty in the most raunchy scene during the second season. The sizzling scene in episode 16 was probably one of the most iconic moments in Suits, as it was the moment we all were waiting for. And I understandably can see why maybe Harry wanted to never see this scene personally, because the chemistry in this scene alone was enough to send any partner into a frenzy of worry that there was something happening, not just on screen, but there might have been something happening behind the screen as well. The scene was so saucy, it was probably one of the most widely shared clips of the series, and it would be unearthed once again after Meghan and Harry started dating. As no one really wanted to believe Meghan would end up with anyone other than Patrick, that's probably why a lot of fans didn't support her relationship with Harry to begin with. Number 4, Family Feud. The humiliation for Meghan and Harry really started after Meghan started to speak against the royal family. And at this point, it seems like Harry would just do anything to forget Meghan even started the battle with his family in the first place. If Meghan never told Harry that she was fighting with his family or having a tough time, they would probably still be in the royal family doing their royal duties, but instead, now they're being iced out completely. At the height of their feud with the royal family, they have unleashed almost all their darkest secrets, and their Netflix documentary has been described as being a great betrayal. With the two playing a part to gain sympathy, what we really ended up witnessing is a narcissistic, egotistical, privileged outpouring of a couple that is bent on getting revenge. Shamefully, it seems like Meghan has cornered Prince Harry to throw his brother, father, and even his grandmother under a big red double-decker bus just so he can make his wife happy. However, it's clear that Harry is miserable and he just wants his family back. In Harry's new book, he would speak about various incidents and issues that he perceived that have caused the irreparable relationship between his father, brother, him, and Meghan. Because of Meghan, Harry has turned his family life into an episode of the Kardashians. While Harry may want his family back, if Meghan never told him how she felt about his family, he probably wouldn't be in the situation he is today, and he would still be in their lives. But Americans make things so dramatic for no reason whatsoever. Coming in number 3, we have the sizzling scene in the bedroom in Suits. In the early days of Meghan's relationship, Harry definitely made the worst mistake of all when he looked up one particularly sizzling scene in the bedroom from the show Suits. The scene would scare Harry so much that he even made a joke that he needed to undergo electric shock therapy just to burn the images from his brain. It's clear that Meghan and Patrick, during any of the scenes, they had passionate and a playful time together. And while it's been said that Harry lusted over her for 2 years before they actually met, as he was a big fan of the show, imagine dating someone who had such a powerful connection with their co-star. In this particular saucy scene from the hit series Suits, Mike and Rachel spiced things up in the bedroom when Mike began to run his fingers up Meghan's leg before the pair playfully slipped under the sheets in a suggestive manner. It really didn't take two to figure out what was actually going on. However, before things got a little too racy, the actress stopped him and the pair just began flirting and kissing. Rachel's love story with Mike has been a big draw for fans across all 7 seasons she was on the show for, and it was a long road that was filled with drama and emotion. Every snog left us all memorized, and as the show went on, the two just turned up their flirty banter and neck kisses, and just the cheeky charm alone was enough to make anyone's heart flutter. Number 2, mental health struggles. One thing has been clear is Prince Harry really wishes his wife didn't tell him about her mental health struggles because he really didn't know how to deal with it. In Volume 2, Episode 4 in the Netflix docuseries Harry and Meghan, the Duchess would recall having some really dark thoughts surrounding her life while at the height of her tensions with the rest of the royal family, and it consists of attacks from the British press, and Prince Harry would go on to say that he wishes he could go back in time and changed the way he reacted to Meghan's mental health struggles when they were still living as senior royals because he really didn't know how to help her. Meghan's depression battle would remind Harry of what he saw happen to his own mother, Princess Diana, who openly struggled with her mental health while working as a senior royal. And it upset him even more because he didn't stop it before it escalated. Harry would go on to say that he was devastated because he knew she was struggling and that he never thought it would get to that stage, and when it did get to that stage and Meghan told him about it, he just felt really angry and ashamed. While Harry has also admitted that he thought he understood Meghan's struggle, he also feels as though he was blinded by his commitment to royal duties at the time, so he didn't give Meghan the support she needed, and since the prince really hasn't been dealing with it particularly well. And number 1 today we have the passionate embrace in Suits. So the protagonist love interest Meghan played in Suits has caused her husband to discuss and express his discomfort after seeing her X-rated scenes, with Harry saying that he witnessed her and her castmate mauling each other in some sort of office or conference room. He really didn't need to see such things live. In season 5 footage from the show Suits, it would show Meghan wearing a skimpy little black slip as she engaged in a passionate embrace with her on-screen boyfriend Mike Ross. The unearthed footage would then show Meghan's character Rachel Zhang cozying up to her on-screen boyfriend Mike between the sheets. While Meghan laid in the bed wearing the skimpy black slip, she can also be seen chatting to her on-screen lover in the bed before they became entangled in a passionate embrace. With Harry's new book opening up about his life and giving new insights to the royal family, it's clear that Harry might just not trust Meghan because of her saucy scenes with her co-star, and he may be left feeling worried that his wife had feelings for another man, but it seems like he was able to get these images out of his head since Patrick, after all, was in the front row at their wedding. Coming in number 10 today we have Samantha Cohen. Samantha Cohen was the Queen's assistant private secretary before she moved to Kensington Palace after she was entrusted by the monarchy to prepare Meghan for life in the royal family. Originally from Australia, Miss Cohen had planned to quit Buckingham Palace back in 2018 but agreed to stay on to help Meghan navigate through her first months as a royal. Samantha was a guest at Harry and Meghan's wedding in May of 2018 and was believed to have helped play a huge role in preparing Meghan for a garden party at Buckingham Palace, which was her first appearance as the Duchess of Sussex. She left her role with the couple in October 2019 amid claims that she was experiencing extreme stress and went on to work for the environmental charity Cool Earth before leaving the royal family. Samantha spent 18 years with the royal family and was described as being deeply committed to serving the monarchy. Jason Knopf then confirmed why Samantha had left, and she made it really clear that working for Harry and Meghan was like working for a couple of teenagers, and that they were impossible and pushed her to her limits, and that she was miserable. Number 9, Wendy Williams. Before Meghan got married or got her job on Suits, Meghan Markle applied to be on the Wendy Williams show back in 2019. Wendy would discuss Meghan's application by saying, "Meghan wanted to work here. She came here to be one of our models. We do fashion," things like that. This was before she met the man, the redhead Harry. But Meghan knows Wendy's show. Later, Wendy would say that she didn't have any sympathy for Meghan Markle after the Duchess emotionally confessed to having trouble fitting into her royal life, and that Meghan knew what she was signing up for. When Wendy shared a clip that showed Meghan saying she had no clue what getting serious with Prince Harry would mean for her future, Wendy would call out the former actress by saying, "Yes, you did. You knew exactly what you were doing," would say to the audience of her show, "And I applaud her plot action on the royal situation, but please don't try to garner sympathy from us. You knew what you were doing." Wendy then went on to say that Meghan shouldn't be surprised that the paparazzi was obsessed with her relationship as she was now a royal, and that they were not following her in Suits because no one knew who she was, and that she should have also listened to her friends before she married the prince because they were right. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in number 8 we have Katy Perry. Just before Meghan Markle and Prince Harry moved into Katy Perry's neighborhood, Katy Perry would ignite a feud when she ultimately criticized Meghan, and it would apparently cause Meghan to hold a nasty grudge. When Meghan got married to Prince Harry on May 19, 2018, she would wear a pure white boat neck gown by designer Claire Waite Keller of French fashion house Givenchy. Just days after the wedding, Perry let everyone know that that she wasn't a fan of the dress and that she would have done one that was more fitting. The California Girls artist then ended up comparing Meghan's dress to the Alexander McQueen dress Catherine wore just before she married Prince William in 2011. She would then say that Kate won. Despite her criticism of what Meghan wore, Katie would try to say that she did love the former suit star. However, Meghan hasn't gotten over the small bit of criticism and holds a massive grudge over Katy Perry, so it's clear that Meghan just hates everyone who doesn't go along with what she is doing, and Katy Perry exposed that. Number 7. Candace Owens. On January 7th, American author Candace Owens would express her views on Meghan Markle after Meghan's husband started to make headlines for his book titled Spare. Just days after the couple appeared in a hit Netflix documentary, taking to Twitter, Candace would say, "Meghan's putting pregnancy tests next to the locks of Princess Diana's hair, plus asking for private moments at Diana's gravesite to speak to her are not things to laugh at." The author, who has more than 3 million followers, would also add that Meghan's moves were terrifyingly psychotic and manipulative actions. And she would then also note that Meghan is extremely dangerous. In past interviews back in 2021 following Meghan and Harry's interview with Oprah, Candace would claim that Meghan was lying about the royal family being racist and that Meghan was a narcissist. Candace would also claim that Meghan, when she said the royal family still had traditional ways, she disagreed and just opted to call them racist. Candace would also go on to say that you would not be able to discern just by looking at Meghan Markle that she's black, so she could claim that she had been a victim of racism and that her and Harry were implying that everything happened to them is because of her blackness is a sickening level of scapegoating. Number 6. Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly has never been afraid to hold back on her issues with Meghan Markle, especially when it comes to the concerns the Duchess of Sussex references to Prince Harry. During an episode of Megyn Kelly's show podcast, Kelly questioned the way Meghan referred to her husband by saying, "We get it. You bagged the gorilla. Congratulations. You got the big bear. You want us all to know." The comments would then come just one day after Meghan offered a glimpse at her home life with Harry. Also during the show, she would label Meghan as a commenter and would express her irritation she has towards Markle's repeating mentions of her own podcast that she married into the British royal family. Kelly would say, "There seems to be no limit on their appetite for ripping on the royals, whom they owe all of their fame to, literally most of their fortune." In the past, Kelly has also frequently criticized Meghan by claiming that she is a B-list actress and Harry is thin-skinned, and she even scorned Meghan for saying that she felt objectified when serving as the briefcase girl on the NBC game show Deal or No Deal.
Halfway at number 5, does not treat animals well. Meghan Markle likes to be known for her humanitarian and social efforts. One thing that Meghan is very proud of is that she adopted 2 dogs from a rescue shelter, but it seems that it was not happily ever after for the 2 puppies. After Meghan became a princess and was set to move to Kensington Palace in 2017, a spokesperson confirmed that Markle's retriever, Bogart, would not join her overseas. Apparently, Meghan felt that it was inhumane for the dog to take the long trip, along with the difficult approval process for dogs coming into the country, and Meghan left the dog with one of her friends in LA. Then later in December, Daily Mail reported that her other dog, Guy, broke both of his legs. We're not sure what the circumstances were, but apparently Meghan was, quote, distraught over the accident. In at number 4, Meghan cut off her friends. After Meghan split from her ex-husband, it was said that she spent a lot of time in London. While there, she apparently formed a friendship with local TV personality Lizzie Cundy after attending an event together. Lizzie disclosed that Meghan wanted her to help finding a new man. Apparently Meghan wanted him to be British and famous. In a 2019 tell-all, Cundy wrote about Meghan, quote, "We were having a girly chat and then she said, 'Do you know any famous guys? I'm single and I really love English men.' So I said, we'll go out and find you someone." Apparently Meghan was interested in soccer player Ashley Cole, but it didn't go anywhere. Then Meghan apparently slid into the DMs of X Factor winner Matt Cardle in 2015, but shortly after that Cardle just stopped replying. But apparently after Harry showed some interest in Meghan, Meghan felt she had no need to stay in touch with Lizzie Cundy anymore and basically ghosted her. Apparently Cundy asked Meghan about Harry, then they chatted for a bit, but never saw each other again. Cundy added, quote, "I was literally ghosted by her." In the number 3, the staff hate her. It was reported that while Meghan and Harry were living in the royal palace with the other family members, the staff hated Meghan so much that they started to quit. In October of 2018, a palace aide and assistant named Melissa quit because of, quote, Hurricane Meghan. Apparently Melissa was a longtime aide of the family's and a trusted assistant, but that all changed when Meghan came into the picture and annoyed the staff with her requests. Apparently Meghan adopted a lot of West Coast habits like waking up at 5 a.m. and, quote, bombarding aides with texts. One source told the Mirror, quote, Meghan put a lot of demands on her and it ended up with her in tears. Melissa is a total professional and fantastic at her job, but things came to a head and it was easier for them to both go their separate ways. Apparently Meghan's tension with her staff also caused a rift between Meghan and Kate. Kate apparently called out Meghan for her strict and disrespectful behavior towards the staff. And at number 2, inappropriate requests. On the day of Harry and Meghan's wedding, Meghan wanted everything to be exactly the way she liked it, which is usually what happens for normal weddings. Well, royal weddings are much different, and most of what happens is passed down for generations and become very strong traditions for the royals. Meghan tried to change a lot of things around for her wedding, which people did not like. One of the most offensive requests was when Meghan asked for air fresheners to be deployed in the chapel where she was to get married. Apparently the smell inside St. George's Chapel was not good enough for her. British insiders stated it does have somewhat of a musty smell, but it is not unpleasant, and it's expected for a building that's been around since 1475. A source said that Meghan wanted the staff to go around with spray guns to make it smell better, but the request was denied. The source said, quote, royal household staff stepped in and told her office politely but firmly that this was the Queen's chapel and it simply wasn't appropriate. I don't believe a request of that nature has ever been made before. And finally at number 1, Meghan knew she wouldn't stay royal. The exit of Harry and Meghan from the royal family was devastating news to many. But after further investigation, it seems that Meghan might have known she was not going to be a royal for long. And she might have even concocted this scheme to get the most amount of press possible, then to leave the royal family and go back to Hollywood, where she's always wanted to be. When it was announced that the royals would be leaving, everyone blamed the decision on Meghan, as she was the only change in the family before Harry's formal exit. British columnists said that they think Meghan did not know the difference between being a celebrity and being a royal. Canadian millionaire Kevin O'Leary even slammed Meghan, saying she was the reason that nobody cares about the couple anymore. Quote, I think Meghan got him into a bad place, and maybe she should do a little soul searching. She knew what she was getting into when she married him. Page 6 also reported that Meghan put some clothes in a storage location in Canada before she got married. She then decided to keep them in Canada, and they were sent to the couple's new Vancouver home after the Megxit announcement. Maybe Meghan left them there because she knew she would be coming back.
Number 10. Lack of preparation. In her explosive new interview with Alison P. Davis from Cut magazine, Meghan Markle reiterated that she knew very little about royal life when she got into a relationship with Harry, and even joked about the fact that she hadn't even seen the Julia Stiles movie, The Prince and Me, which would have been a similar story of a normal girl marrying a prince. She said, that would have been really helpful. That would have been a very key tutorial to have had in advance of all this, adding that she's good at taking direction. Quote, I was an actress. My entire job was tell me where to stand, tell me what to say, tell me how to say it, tell me what to wear and I'll do it. And I'll show up early and I'll probably bake something for the crew. But the notion that Meghan knew nothing of Prince Harry or the royal family before she met him is a story that she clearly intends on circulating. Thank God I didn't know a lot about the family. Thank God I hadn't researched. I would have been so in my head about it. There's no doubt that it must have been a nerve-wracking experience, but the reality is most people would at least Google a public figure before meeting them. Number 9. Return to Instagram. Meghan revealed that she was initially indecisive about her potential return to social media, as she was very used to sharing so much of her life online before she wed Harry, saying it was a really big adjustment, a huge adjustment to go from that kind of autonomy to a different life. She then talked about what it was like using the royals' Instagram and called it a largely censored experience, and one that was heavily influenced by the British media. Quote, there's literally a structure by which if you want to release photos of your child as a member of the family, you have to first give them to the Royal Rota, the UK media pool. Why would I give the very people that are calling my children the N-word a photo of my child before I can share it with the people that love my child? You tell me how that makes sense and then I'll play that game. Now the Duchess says that she's caught between wanting to create a personal account again and wishing to keep her private life private. But one thing's for sure, she is definitely getting back on the gram. It's probably the platform she's missed the most considering that she's a millennial after all. Number 8. Nelson Mandela comparison. This was easily one of the most contentious parts of the interview, the moment where Meghan compared herself to Nelson Mandela. Yes, the legendary activist and first president of South Africa, who spent 27 years in prison for opposing apartheid. During the interview, Meghan recounted a trip to the 2019 London premiere of the live-action version of The Lion King. She said, "I just had Archie. It was a cruel chapter. I was scared to go out." She said it was then that a cast member from South Africa pulled her aside at the premiere and said, "When you married into this family, we rejoiced in the streets the same way we did when Mandela was freed from prison." Although she claims it was the dancer who first made the comparison, the Duchess was quick to receive all kinds of backlash just for putting it out there. In fact, Nelson Mandela's grandson, Mandela, was one of the first people to slam the remarks. He said, "It can never be compared to the celebration of someone's wedding. Madiba's celebration was based on overcoming 350 years of colonialism, with 60 years of a brutal apartheid regime in South Africa." So it's clear that Meghan's choice to even put that in the interview came off as a little tone deaf. Number 7. $1 million deals. One of the things that Meghan has always been known for is her very American work ethic, as she seems to actually enjoy juggling it all and filling her schedule to the brim. In fact, it was one of the reasons why life as a royal did not mesh so well with her. In her new interview, she details her various exploits after leaving the firm, which includes podcasting and multiple Netflix ventures. She also brought up the family's new 3-tier company, Archwell, that was launched in October of 2020, mostly as a way to make some cash following the infamous Megxit. Although the company has not released very much in the way of concrete content, it was revealed that Harry and Meghan managed to score a whopping $25 million Spotify deal and a $100 million Netflix deal for their work. But the only thing we've seen from them so far is the first episode of her new podcast, Archetypes, which was released by Spotify this month. Although it initially looked promising, Archetypes has been torn to shreds by critics, with one review saying that the episode makes you feel like you've been locked in a relaxation room of a wellness spa with an unusually self-involved yoga instructor. Which is pretty harsh, so it's probably best that you watch it and decide for yourself. Number 6. Renovation controversy. Everyone knows that the British tabloids were particularly vicious towards Meghan while she lived with Harry at Frogmore Cottage in Windsor. Meghan opened up about the criticism they received surrounding the expensive home renovation and said, "Just by existing, we were upsetting the dynamic of the hierarchy. So we go, okay fine, let's get out of here, happy to. But for whatever reason, it's not something that we were allowed to do, even though several other members of the family do the exact same thing." One of the main things that they were accused of was using exorbitant amounts of taxpayer funds to renovate the home, but they eventually repaid it all and even offered to earn their own money on behalf of the monarchy, which made it virtually impossible for the media to criticize them under the guise of public interest. In fact, it was recently reported that Harry repaid $3.2 million in British taxpayer money that was used to renovate the home in Windsor. Not only that, but it has been widely noted that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are not listed as having benefited from any UK tax funds at all since 2020. On the other hand, the royal family as a whole has cost the UK roughly $124 million this year alone. So make of that what you will.
Halfway at number 5, Erin Foster. Erin Foster is the daughter of musician David Foster, as well as a writer and performer. She's another person that is known for blasting celebrities online, with Meghan being one of those people. In November of 2017, Erin posted a photo of Meghan from her Deal or No Deal days and captioned it, quote, "Never forget," which is definitely some subtle shade. Then, just to make sure her followers would not forget, she posted another picture of Meghan with a briefcase and added an even harsher caption that read, quote, "This briefcase is filled with my plans to be famous." So it's clear that she just thinks Meghan is a clout chaser hungry for fame. And at number 4, Prince Andrew. Now we're getting into some of the people in the royal family who are not too fond of the Duchess. Apparently, a source said that after she got engaged to Prince Harry and went to speak with his family, Prince Andrew was not very kind to her, while Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were warm and welcoming. The source said that his difference in behavior with Meghan compared to the other royal members was very noticeable. I would assume even to Meghan herself. He definitely did not say or do anything rude, however we all know that a person's tone can really say so much. And at number 3, Kate Middleton. This one is a little heartbreaking if it's true, but it's widely speculated that Kate Middleton and Meghan do not get along. and these rumors were made worse by Meghan's Oprah interview. But this all could just be speculation from the fans of each of the women, as now that Kate finally has some competition for the love of the people in Meghan, the fans of the two women seem to be battling it out on social media. But it also seems that new info we are learning from the palace is fueling the divide too, like the fact that Harry and Meghan moved away from William and Kate at one point, or the fact that the brothers' joint staffing agreement was recently ended, with people thinking Meghan is the reason for this new divide between William and Harry. There was even a rumor that Meghan made Kate cry at one point. However, Meghan revealed in the Oprah interview that it was actually the other way around. However, Kate apologized to Meghan, and Meghan seemed to genuinely accept it in the interview. And at number 2, Katy Perry. So this is a random one, but singer Katy Perry threw some serious shade at Meghan's way after her wedding. When the American Idol hosts were all asked about Meghan's dress, Katy replied, quote, "I would have done one more fitting. I'm never not gonna tell the truth. One more fitting, but I love you." But that's not all. Perry added on after, quote, "Kate won, clearly referring to the fact that Kate had the better dress. But Kate Middleton's Alexander McQueen dress was stunning, I can't even lie about that. And since that was a common sentiment around social media at that time, especially about the dress not being altered properly, most people did agree with Katie. And at number 1, Princess Eugenie. Princess Eugenie is another member of the royal family that many believe does not like Meghan. Apparently, the main reason for the spat is that when Harry and Meghan announced their engagement, Princess Eugenie actually had to push back her own wedding because of it. An insider said the princess was extremely unhappy about having to push back her wedding date due to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding, as the princess and her fiance were supposed to get married in September of 2018, but were forced to postpone it because of the royal wedding. Princess Eugenie also reportedly hated Meghan for choosing St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle for their wedding venue, since it was Princess Eugenie who wanted that venue first. She did get married shortly after, but obviously her event was very overshadowed.
Coming in number 10, we have the raunchy car scene from Beverly Hills 90210. If there was one scene Harry wished he never saw, it would be the one that came 2 years after Meghan Markle left her Deal or No Deal gig. She would make a cameo in the hit series Beverly Hills 90210 for a pretty raunchy car scene with a high school hunk. When the former actress appeared in the premiere episode of the Beverly Hills 90210 reboot, which aired in 2008, her character was caught getting frisky in the front seat of a car with co-star Dustin Milligan, who played Ethan. Her character Wendy and Ethan were seen enjoying their intimate moment in broad daylight before being caught by Annie Wilson, who played Shanae Grimes. Annie is particularly shocked as Ethan already has a girlfriend, Naomi Clark, who is played by Anna Lynn McCord. Since the clip has resurfaced, many people have been calling Markle a hypocrite as she left one bimbo gig for another. Markle was reportedly hesitant to reenact the scene for the role, but despite wanting a career that didn't objectify women years earlier, she would book the gig anyways. Markle would then claim that she quit Deal or No Deal in 2006 because she didn't like being objectified by sucking in her stomach and wearing fake lashes and hair extensions. Meghan alleged her experience has since caused an uproar over her treatment, as that's TV. What did you think was going to happen? You know, that's what the show was, and that's probably why Harry is having a hard time after watching these scenes. Number 9, the bedroom scene in Random Encounters. One of the scenes Harry wasn't so particular about when it came to Meghan's former acting career would come years earlier before her relationship with Prince Harry, and it would actually be the role that thrusted her into the spotlight. The role in question was when Meghan was given the part in a little-known film called Random Encounters. The scenes from the 2013 rom-com show featured Meghan being shown slipping into silky lingerie, and then she would be seen having an intimate moment with a male co-star. While in character, Meghan would then be set to play Mindy, who was known to be a bed-hopping party girl. In one particular raunchy scene, Meghan could be seen undressing her co-star Michael as her character was trying to make a move in the dimly lit apartment. After the show was first released in the US, the movie would then be released on DVD in the UK for the first time in May of 2018, less than 2 weeks before Meghan was set to marry Prince Harry on their wedding day. Well, I can only guess this was when Harry first watched the scene. This doesn't throw you red flags that maybe you shouldn't
be marrying someone, then I don't know what else to say. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming number 8, we have Meghan cheating. So back in November, the tabloids report that a divorce may be headed towards Prince Harry and Meghan Markle shortly. However, considering that the two enjoy being miserable together, it seems pretty unlikely at this point. The new scandal at the English royal court would reveal that Harry would receive a call from Archie's school after his wife hadn't shown up to pick him up. Meghan apparently forgot about Archie because she was too busy doing something else with her bodyguard, Chris Sanchez. And the incident would leave Prince Harry furious, at least. Soon there would then be also a photo which has not been released yet, and the photo, sources would say, you could see Prince Harry, who had just returned home with his 2 children, lashing out at Meghan, who was hysterical and would say several times that she wanted to divorce him immediately. And while this could just be a rumor, it's kind of hard to believe that the story isn't true, since she once cheated on Canadian chef Corey Vitiello and wouldn't even break up with him until after news outlets reported that she was dating Prince Harry. So I'll let you do the math and decide if Meghan really cheated or not. Number 7, the steamy kiss with her colleague in Suits. Now before Meghan got with Prince Harry, she got her first big role in the show Suits. And while it may have been a big role for the actress, many still don't know what Suits is because, let's face it, the show was filmed in Canada and many people just don't like Canadian films, even though some of them are actually fire. Meghan played paralegal Rachel Zane on the show for 7 seasons from 2011 to 2018, and during the years on the show, the actress was involved in some pretty very steamy scenes that definitely did not sit well with Prince Harry, and I can see why he wished he never googled his wife in the first place to find her secrets. To kick things off, Rachel and her co-star in the 2nd season. Rachel would share a steamy kiss with her colleague Mike Ross, who is played by Patrick J. Adams. The pair were fully aware he was in a relationship with Jenny Griffiths at the time, who happened to be the ex-girlfriend of Mike's old best friend. But that didn't stop Rachel from leaning in for a passionate snog, which happened in a brief look in the eye and an arm grab. Now fans watching wouldn't be particularly surprised by the kiss, as Mike and Rachel had a bunch of steamy moments that gave old fans this hint that the two were going to jump into a relationship at some point. Number 6, daddy issues. Since finding out about Meghan's daddy issues, Prince Harry has been blaming himself, as he feels like he's the reason why Meghan Markle no longer has a relationship with her father, Thomas Markle. In the Harry and Meghan Netflix docu-series, Harry would say, of course, it's incredibly sad what happened. She had a father before this, now she doesn't have a father. I shouldered that, because if Meg wasn't with me, then her dad would still be her dad. It's amazing what people will do when offered a huge amount of money, $50,000, $100,000, to hand over photographs to create a story. Thank God, most of them said no. After Thomas originally made headlines in 2018, he ultimately didn't attend his daughter's wedding. And just days before the ceremony, he would announce that he was unable to fly to England to attend. Following Harry and Meghan's big move to the United States, the former actress would then also know that she lost her father after becoming a royal, as her father had the inability to tell her the truth about the paparazzi photos. Finding out about Meghan's broken relationship with her family definitely had a huge impact on Harry, as he feels responsible that he is the reason behind her family icing her out, and it's been a huge impact for him to deal with. Number 5, Sharon Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne has never been afraid to share her opinions on Harry and Meghan, although at times she has defended the couple in the past. She has even gone as far to say she felt sorry for them at one point, to make a full 180 calling out the couple for their disrespectful docu-series. Sharon is absolutely done with Meghan playing the victim, as she believes that instead, Meghan should be using her platform to raise awareness for her charity, rather than the way she has been treated by the media and the royal family. Sharon will go on to say that Meghan's actions are trash, and that all she ever talks about is how she is treated poorly because of her race and how she acts. Sharon will go on to note that Meghan should instead be grateful because she has a great life, a beautiful family, and she's very much in love and needs to get a life and move on already. With every interview Meghan and Harry do, it seems like all they do is whine about how there's no positive points to any of their stories or proof to back up their stories, so for the most part, Sharon just thinks they're lying. While the press may be hard on Meghan when she came to England,
They're hard on so many people, including the rest of the royal family. Number 4. Jeremy Clarkson. Back in December, Jeremy Clarkson would publish a very misogynistic article about Meghan in The Sun, where he wrote that he hated the Duchess of Sussex on a cellular level. In the article, Jeremy would reference a famous scene from Game of Thrones where he wrote, "At night, I'm unable to sleep as I lie there grinding my teeth and dreaming of the day when Meghan Markle is made to parade naked through the streets of every town in Britain while the crowds chant shame and throw lumps of excrement at her." In a tweet published after the article was released, Jeremy would call it a clumsy reference to the scene in Games of Thrones and acknowledge that it had gone down badly with a number of different people. Jeremy would then say, "I was horrified to cause so much hurt and I shall be more careful in the future." His article would come with the release of Meghan and Harry's Netflix docuseries, in which the couple would open up about the social media threats they received in recent years. Jeremy's article would then spark near immediate backlash from Brits as Jeremy let his feelings about Meghan and Harry loose. Number 3. Howard Stern. US radio host Howard Stern has slammed both Prince Harry and Meghan Markle over their new docu-series, branding them as whiny bees. When the first 3 episodes arrived on the Netflix platform, it would feature revelations about everything from the couple's first date, Princess Diana, and supposed racism in the UK. However, Howard was clearly not impressed with the series and he would criticize the pair, saying, "The show is very weird for two people who have historically pleaded for privacy." The couple who stepped away as royals have been able to retain their royal titles, and they have consistently issued statements arguing privacy was not the reason they quit the royal family. Stern would then question the motivation behind the series, which he described as being like watching the Kardashians, except it was boring to watch. Howard would say, "It's been painful. I wouldn't stay with it, but my wife wants to watch it. You know, we have shows that we watch, but they come off like such whiny bees. I gotta tell you, I just don't get it. There's nothing real about the relationship from the beginning to end. Those two whining about wah, and they don't like me, and she wants to be beloved in this country. Man, oh man. It's just very weird to watch two people screaming. We wanted our privacy. We wanted the press to leave us alone. But then we saw them all release everything about their lives on Netflix, so Howard, I personally just don't get it either." Number 2. Piers Morgan. Meghan Markle has been dubbed as being manipulative and controlling by Piers Morgan, who slammed the Duchess after the prince addressed the United Nations on Nelson Mandela Day. In his opinion, the Good Morning Britain would claim that Meghan was doing everything she could to socially climb the ladder, and it's clear that she is actually a ridiculous, two-faced sham. The brutal takedown from Piers would come right after Meghan won her bombshell privacy legal battle with the publisher of the Mail over a letter she wrote to her estranged father. Meghan has previously won the case, but gained a second victory after the publisher fought for an appeal in the case. Well, Meghan described it not only being a victory for her, but for anyone who felt scared to stand up for what's right. In a powerful statement afterwards, throughout the privacy case, there had been a number of bombshell moments from the news that Meghan drafted the letter to her dad knowing that it could be leaked. However, Piers would hit back at Meghan's claims and he would mock her for impersonating some kind of letter day Winston Churchill rallying a nation in wartime, rather than an unemployed actress fleecing her unelected marital royal status for gazillions from her California mansion. Number 1. Bethany Frankel. Bethany Frankel is always doubling down on her criticism of Meghan Markle as she claims that Meghan has painted herself into a corner following her royal exit. Bethany has said, "Timing is everything. Don't believe you owe BS. And play chess, not checkers." Bethany has also claimed that Meghan caused herself to be in a terrible situation when she and Prince Harry stepped down from their senior royal duties in 2020, and that she effed it all up when it came to her whole life outside of the royal bubble. Bethany would also note that Meghan is a polarizing person, and that we shouldn't get it twisted, as Meghan is very much like a housewife and she can't stop talking about very things she wants to be, and that is to be irrelevant. Bethany would also state when Meghan left the royal family, she should have learned something. And that's if she wanted to leave the royal family, she should have just left the royal family, but instead we see her talking about the royal family in every single interview. But she never wanted to participate in the royal family game until she left the royal family and made it her own game. It honestly takes more energy not to forgive, but Meghan continues to hold on to her judges and expose the royal family in very condescending ways.
And at number 10, Harry and Meghan are related. This should be taken with a slight grain of salt because at some point, if we go back far enough, we're pretty much all related. So as we know, Meghan was born American, and of course Harry is British, but they still share some DNA. The Daily Mail did a genealogical investigation where it was revealed that Harry and Meghan are cousins dating back to the 15th century. The connection is on Markle's father's side, but of course it's 15 generations back, so there are no real connections still intact, and there's zero chance anyone will be related at family gatherings. And at number 9, always wanted to be famous. An old friend of Meghan's came forward after the engagement claiming that Meghan always wanted to be famous, even since childhood. She not only loved being the center of attention from a young age, she was very calculated in who she spent her time with. Nanaki Pretty told the Daily Mail, quote, "All I can say now is I think that Meghan was calculated, very calculated in the way she handled people and relationships. She is very strategic in the way she cultivates circles of friends." Pretty also claimed that Meghan always wanted to be famous. Royal scholars have pointed out that this trait is a positive for Meghan and Harry's relationship. Apparently most of Harry's other relationships didn't work out because the women he was with did not like all the attention, but clearly this is not an issue for Meghan. Penny Junor, author of Prince Harry, Brother Soldier's Son, told the Express, quote, "One of the advantages of Meghan is because she's in the public eye, she likes that. The real problem with Harry's girlfriends in the past is that they absolutely hated the media attention that scared them off." And at number 8, Meghan cheated with Harry. After Meghan was confirmed to be dating Prince Harry, it came out that there might have been some overlap between her relationship with Harry and with her ex, who was Canadian chef Corey Vitelio. Before she started dating Harry, Meghan was seen out with the chef on multiple occasions. Nobody thought anything about her past relationship until a fan noticed that Vanity Fair changed the date when Harry and Meghan started dating from May to July of 2016, because apparently she was still with the chef in May. Harry and Meghan first met at the Invictus Games in Toronto, and when Harry asked for her number, the Telegraph reported that she was still with her ex. The Daily Mail actually asked the chef about his split with Meghan, and he claimed that he and Meghan had, quote, parted permanently when Harry came on scene. However, he did somewhat hint that the pair might have been together in some capacity while she still was with Harry. And at number 7, fame changed her. After news broke that Meghan was marrying Harry and would become a princess, many sources came out saying that fame had changed her, and she's all about climbing the social ladder. In December of 2017, news broke that Samantha Markle, who is Meghan's estranged half-sister, was planning a tell-all book about Meghan. In an interview with The Sun, Samantha said, quote, "Hollywood has changed her. I think her ambition is to become a princess." Samantha also complained that Meghan forgot about her after gaining high society status. A source close to the family told E! News that Samantha cannot be trusted. However, Samantha is not the only person who says this about Meghan. Meghan's former best friend, Nikandi Pretty, told the Daily Mail in December of 2017, quote, "There's Meghan before fame and Meghan after fame." And at number 6, chose career over marriage. Before Meghan was known for her role on Suits, she was actually married to a producer named Trevor Engelson for 2 years, before they eventually split. The split was apparently caused because of Meghan's work, and a former friend said that Meghan clearly chose her career and work over her husband. The former friend, who served as a maid of honor at Markle's wedding to Engelson, told the Daily Mail, quote, "It was such a shock when she told me they were getting divorced. Apparently the stress of the long-distance relationship is what caused the main issue. Meghan was living in Canada at the time, filming the show Suits while her husband was in LA. Apparently Engelson was heartbroken over the split and did not see it coming."
Number 5, Jason Kanoff. Jason Kanoff joined Buckingham Palace back in 2015 and became the communications secretary for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Known to be a trusted staffer, he was even asked to help with private letters to Meghan Markle's family. Jason was working with the royals at the time the allegations against the newspaper publisher were made, and just 2 months after Meghan asked for his feedback on the famous private letter to her father. Jason would turn his back on her and is said to be the person who submitted the bullying allegations to the HR department in October of 2018 that claimed Meghan was bullying royal staff members. The claims were raised to HR in a bid to get Buckingham Palace to protect the staff that Jason alleged were coming under pressure from the Duchess. A source would then also tell Times that Prince Harry also then pleaded with Jason not to pursue the bullying allegations. A month after reporting the allegations of bullying, Jason would hand in his notice and he would take up a job as an advisor to Prince William, and he is now the chief executive of the Cambridge's Royal Foundation. On top of the letter allegations Jason would hold against Meghan, he would also state that Meghan drove 2 of her personal assistants out of the household and undermined the confidence of the third one. Number 4, Camilla. Camilla tried to have a good relationship with Meghan Markle before her marriage to Prince Harry, and in the end the Queen Consort found Meghan Markle to be very disrespectful. A report would then claim that she was unable to give basic advice to Meghan because of the latter's behavior. Camilla had her own reservations about Meghan Markle much before the actor and Prince Harry tied the knot. However, Camilla chose not to voice her opinion to her stepson at the time. Since the beginning, it's said that Camilla was suspicious about the adventures from Los Angeles, and she found it really hard to believe that Meghan would sacrifice her career and independence to serve silently as a team player devoted to the monarchy. When Meghan and Harry stepped down from their royal duties, Camilla would start to refer to Meghan as a minx, because Camilla believed that Meghan was a self-seeking troublemaker whose antics would cause tears. According to palace insiders, Camilla also declared war on Meghan and even used her husband King Charles to try to stop her from becoming part of the royal family, as Camilla felt like Meghan was unfit to belong to the institution. She said Meghan has so many strikes against her and that she's unfit to become a royal. These strikes are said to include being a divorcee and a commoner, and if she had been queen at the time, she would have never allowed Meghan and Harry's union to go forward. And number 3, we have Katie Hopkins. Back in 2019, Katie Hopkins would start a scandal that got the whole country talking about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle after she made comments about the couple's decision to step down as senior members of the royal family. The Daily Mail writer and media personality made it clear that she had no respect for someone like Meghan Markle. She would then make her first of many moves to prove her distaste for Meghan when she bashed the Duchess for being addicted to her Instagram page. Katie also became very vocal when she labeled Meghan as being an American version of Kate Middleton and a budgeted Princess Diana with an Oscar-winning innocent face. Her anger would then go furious after Prince Harry started to plead for his girlfriend's privacy with the press. Katie would then go off on her rant and say, if you don't want Miss Sparkle trolled on social media, advise her to stay away from posting pictures of bananas spooning on her Instagram account. Number 2, Erin Foster. If you don't know who Erin Foster is, she is a comedy performer and a writer who has a notorious history for blasting several celebrities on her Instagram page, and this includes Meghan Markle. However, the way she chose to shade Meghan Markle was actually pretty hilarious. In November 2017, Erin would post a photo of Meghan from her Deal or No Deal days, and she would caption the image by saying, "Never forget." Later, during another occasion, she would opt to post another image of Meghan holding a briefcase from the same show, and she would proceed to add an even more rude caption that read, "This briefcase is filled with my plans to be famous." Now, it's definitely no secret that Erin considers the princess to be nothing but a fame-hungry social climber, and fans probably should have listened to her when Meghan first started her sob story that showed no facts to back up her claims. And coming in number 1 today, we have Chrissy Swan. Back in 2017, when the whole world was swooning over Prince Harry and his American bride-to-be Meghan Markle, one person who was not a fan from the start of the Suits star was Australian TV personality Chrissy Swan, who admitted on Facebook that she wasn't able to warm to her future royal, when she said, "For some reason, I still haven't warmed to her." Chrissy would then go on to note that the reason she was so skeptical when it came to the former actress was because of her manner. She would then even note that she thought Meghan was just acting the whole time, and many people seem to have agreed with Chrissy's controversial position, with one fan saying, "I have reservations too. I'm not sure she loves the man as much as she loves the role." But it seems like Chrissy was right to have her suspicion, because Meghan does look like she's portraying a concocted humility of acting to gain sympathy from her followers.